What up, hotheads? I'm Henry, and this is Blaze the Roof. Welcome to the 200th episode. If you don't count all the specials and other shit I've done, yeah, it's 200. This week I'll be covering a sauce called Soothsayer, a wish for sauce that burns. It was started in 2015 by Kyle Janis. He started making small batches, basically excluded any added sugars as well as any chemical preservatives. The company collaborates with bands both local and in the national punk scene, and they are based out of Chicago. You'll also see in a lot of their titles the letter U gets substituted with a V. You'll notice that throughout any of their products. All right, so Chicago. It is the third largest city in the U.S. and has in itself 2.7 million people. Some nicknames for it are the Windy City, the City of Big Shoulders, and the Second City. Downtown is also known as the Loop. The first recorded use of the name Chicago was in 1688. It was spelled as Chicago instead of the spelling we know now. That is the Algonquin word for onion field. All right, so the first permanent settler was Jean-Baptiste Pont du Sable. He was a trapper and merchant. Just said, I'm going to fucking put shop here, right? The Great Chicago Fire of 1871 burned a third of the land and left 100,000 people homeless. Mind you, back then, that's a lot of people. The L that Chicago is known for was actually the first elevated train in the United States. The first Ferris wheel was also created here, and in tribute to that, the one on Navy Pier was built. Chicago is also the birthplace of the Twinkie. Famous people from here include, there were just so many people to go through. I'm just going to run through them like pretty quickly, right? As far as fiction writers, you got Ray Bradbury, Philip K. Dick, Michael Crichton. You also have Ann Landers, who was instrumental columnist in the Chicago Times or Tribune. So criminals, Al Capone, John Dillinger, and John Wayne Gacy, as well as Ted Kaczynski, all have ties to Chicago. Actresses Gillian Anderson and Patricia Arquette, as well as actors or comedians Ike Barinholtz and John Belushi. You also had the late, great Andre Braugher here as well. The originator of the UTEP two-step, Tim Hardaway, who went to my alma mater, UTEP, played in the NBA, really great player. Derrick Rose, another great NBA player, was born here. Mr. Midway himself, Dick Butkus, was born in Chicago, as was Smashing Pumpkins frontman Billy Corgan. Whiny voice but brilliant songwriter, as well as the wonderful, taken way too soon from us, Sam Cooke. Who doesn't love Sam Cooke? Amazing singer. Now let's look at the packaging. So first of all, this sauce has a really fucking weird design. Okay, let's just start first of all with the name itself, Soothsayer, the title. It's made in a really unique font. Their font usually looks like this on the bottle itself. Really, really intricate, really horrific artwork. And horrific in that it's evokes horror, not that it's terrible. It's actually pretty cool. So you got a creature with a bunch of eyes. I think it's even holding a gingerbread man there. And the artwork is by an artist named Ramses. Let's look at the ingredients now. The ingredients include serrano pepper, nopales, that's cactus for you white folk, distilled white vinegar, water, tomatillo, onion, lime juice, garlic, salt, tequila, lime zest. I was going to cover cactus, but be honest with you, I mean, we kind of already covered that, something similar to it. So what I decided to do is, sticking with the theme that we have, featuring something that's from Chicago, I want to go with the Chicago dog. The Chicago dog, right, as it's affectionately known, also goes by the names of Chicago style dog, as well as the Chicago red hot, also known as the drag through the garden style. It consists of typically an all-beef frank, and here's the litany of ingredients. So it has to be yellow mustard, chopped white onions, sweet neon green pickle relish, tomato wedges or slices, dill pickle spear, pickled sport pepper, and celery salt, all on a poppy seed bun. Ketchup is a fucking sin, apparently. There's even vendors that refuse to carry ketchup in their shop so that people will not put it on their hot dogs. They're very passionate about that in the Midwest. Variations include adding lettuce, cucumbers, as well as removing or replacing the poppy seeds and the celery salt. If you do get a chance, eat a Chicago dog at Wiener Circle in Chicago near Wrigleyville. It's a fucking experience. The staff literally talks shit to the customers. I had one of the funnest nights I ever had in Chicago, just eating at that place after the bars. Man, they're brutal. It's fucking hilarious though. It's not for the weak, so if you're easily offended, do not go to that place, but it's phenomenal. Before we get any further, let's hear from this week's sponsor. Not all donuts are made the same. Here at Dickin' Donuts, our sweets are made using an added ingredient. Even though our original glazed are our most popular, we're especially known for our cream-filled donuts. Our donut holes are definitely made differently than most. You must try our Dickin' Cider Donuts. Dickin' Donuts. We put something extra in every treat. Now for the moment of truth. First of all, the shrink wrap on this shit must have been made out of adamantium. Fucking thing took forever to get off. So you could smell the citrus, the lime. If you've never had cactus, it's kind of hard to explain the flavor to you. It's like very flavorful celery, but without too much of the stringiness, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but paired up with jalapeno, it's really good. And in Mexico, they do tacos de nopales, and it's an ingredient, and it's really nice. It's vegetarian, so if you're vegan or vegetarian, it's a good option. I'm probably going to be looking for, of course, jalapeno. It should be a quick burn that shouldn't be too intense. Should have a brightness because of the lime and the lime zest. And the nopal should probably give it a little bit more of an earthy flavor as well. It's a brownish green like you would typically expect out of a jalapeno sauce. All right, here we go. Cheers. So it also has serrano in it. This has a surprising bite to it. Being that it was serrano and jalapeno, this actually has almost like a middleweight kick to it. It's getting me in the back of the tongue. Typically jalapeno, and a little bit in the front. The jalapeno and serrano will you typically hit the tip of your tongue. Very good flavor. It's very tasty. So since it's lime, it does have a little bit of the citrusy flavor. But again, lime's a little bit more typically bitter. This doesn't have any bitter flavor to it. The way the ingredients are mixed together, the lime just gives it a nice citrusy flavor. Coupled with the jalapeno, it's perfect. And the nopal just adds a little touch of earthiness to it. This is a really, really tasty sauce. You can put this on pretty much anything. I'm going to definitely be using it for, on eggs, pork dishes, meat dishes. I wouldn't put it on a steak, right? I wouldn't put this on Asian fare or Italian. There's mostly like Mexican food, any type of just anything you could spice up with breakfast like that. This would be perfect for. I would say this is a buy. It's not quite at the level of like zombie snot and anything like by Hellfire as far as green sauces, but it is very tasty. It kind of just reminds me of some of the jalapeno sauces back home, the green salsas, and so it's really good. Considering it's coming out of Chicago and it was not a Hispanic, it's pretty cool. Next week, I'll be reviewing a sauce named, I think it's called the Alchemist, but I also seen it called the Alchemist's Wife. So I'll clarify, but it's either Alchemist or Alchemist's Wife, and I'll be reviewing their Ghost Pepper Hot Sauce. Until then, I'm Henry, and remember, spice up your life. Take care.